Hello, I'm John, and today we have a really cool set of passenger cars from Atlas to take a look at. So let's head over to the workbench. So here's what we're looking at today, and this is a little bit different. You'll notice I'm showing a box instead of the models. That's because this is a set of 3 models. This is a Metra passenger car 3-pack, and it includes 2 cars that they're calling trailers, which I would refer to simply as coaches. And then the third one is a cab car. Now they do sell all these pieces separately as well, and the trailers, as they're calling them, go for $119.95 as a separate individual model, right? $119.95 each. MSRP, I'll tell you about that in a minute. And then the cab cars, $139.95 MSRP. The 3-packs, like this one, go for $379.85. Again, MSRP. And what that means is manufacturer suggested retail price. Your best bet is to go to the Atlas website, find the car or cars that you want, and then shop around, because most retailers do not sell at MSRP. They sell for less than MSRP. So find the one or ones that you're looking for and then shop around, because you'll find them for less. As I was unpacking these, I noticed that they come with something that a lot of rolling stock doesn't come with. Exploded view parts diagrams. That's pretty cool. And they're fairly complex models. Now, I've unpackaged one of the ones that they're calling trailers that I refer to as a coach, and also this one in front, which is the cab car. You can tell the difference because the cab car has a cab in it, right? And it has this red and white barricade striping on the end. That's the direction in which the train would be traveling this way in push mode. That's what they call that. These commute trains operate in push-pull mode with a locomotive on one end and a cab car on the other end. That's why the cab car looks different, and we'll take a closer look at it. We're going to look at both of these in some detail, and I will point out those differences. And the last thing I want to mention to you, according to the Atlas website, these should be operated on 22-inch minimum radius curves. So looking at the paint and markings on this model, they're very well done. I'm especially impressed with the fact that it doesn't look really shiny. A lot of times you get a model like this and it almost looks like chrome or something. This has a really nicely done sort of aluminum look to it. And you can see that there's a lot of detail in the trucks and in the doors and really everywhere. This is a very detailed model, and I'm not much of a passenger coach or passenger car foamer, but yeah, pretty impressive. So looking at one of the ends here, you can see that the model has what I'm going to call slightly working diaphragms. You can see I can put a little bit of pressure on it and it does push in. The detail in the door that goes to the vestibule is really good. And just overall, it's a good look. Something that's sort of unusual here is, I think that's an uncoupling lever right there on a passenger car. That's usually not something we get to see. Here's a look at the other side of the car, and you'll notice that the detail that shows on the bottom is different on this side than what it was on the other side of the car. And here's the other end of the car with uncoupling lever detail and a working diaphragm. The tops of these cars have corrugations just like the sides, as you can see here. And on the cab car, you can see there's an antenna and some horn detail over here. Pretty cool. Now looking at the details from the bottom, you can see what I was talking about a second ago, how the detail that shows as it rolls down the track is different, right, on each side. And something else you'll notice if you're paying attention is that all of these trucks have electrical pickup in them. That's because these models have working interior lights. And we'll be looking at that a little bit later. All right, so I've set the trailer aside for the moment, and I wanted to show you a detail that I noticed on the cab car that wasn't present on the trailer, and it's this little cable here. This looks like a speed recorder. Maybe it isn't, but it sure looks like one to me. If you know what that is, you're welcome to put a comment in the comment section below the video, and I'm going to bring in the other car just so you can see the difference right here. No speed recorder. While we're looking at this, I'm also going to point out the difference in this window right here. This window on this car is where the cab is. This is where the engineer or operator of the train, or driver if you're from England, this is where the person sits and operates the train when they're in push mode, meaning the locomotive would be at the other end of the train, pushing the entire train that direction. So that's the difference there. You see how this one's just a regular window and this is a smaller window? Now here's a really obvious difference. The cab car has the barricade striping and a horn, whereas the regular coach doesn't have either one of those. And you can see that the engineer would be looking out this window, which is not present over here. Let me just take this away. Also looking at the cab car, you'll notice that it has headlights and other assorted lights on it. These do work and they're directional, so it's pretty cool. There's a lot of lighting features on here, and they also have inside the model a 21-pin plug that you can actually install a decoder into the cab car so that it will do all of the lighting functions, which is really cool. Now this one does not have a decoder in it, so we won't be looking at that, but I will show you what this does on regular track power when we get to the looking at the lights segment of this spotlight. If you're paying attention, you'll also notice that the cab car has a snowplow on it, because this is legitimately the front of the train when they're going in that direction. There's also a bell down here, which would be present on a real cab car as well. Here's a look at the other side of the model that we haven't seen yet. And here's a look at the other end of the model, which looks almost identical to the regular coach end. So we're going to take a look at the lights here. Basically, I have my computer set up just to the side of the screen here, hooked up to JMRI, and I'm going to turn the track power on, and you can see the whole thing lights up, including all the lights on the end. So this is what it looks like just with regular track power on. We have marker lights, ditch lights, and headlights on the top, as well as all the interior lighting. And you can see with the lights on like this that the interior's fully detailed, which looks really good, especially when the lights come on. Now I'm going to hook this up to a DC power pack and show you how the lights behave that way. Okay, DC power pack now, and I'm going to throttle up slowly until we're all the way full. And look, you'll notice now that the marker lights are not on. But if I switch directions, look what happened. The marker lights came on and all the headlights turned off. And here's a look at the regular coach with the lights fully on. This is a great set of really nicely detailed cars from Atlas. I love the fact that they come with the lights installed at the factory to light up the interior. Not only does it look cool, but it also gives people a chance to see that the interior is fully detailed. I think that's really cool. And how about that cab car with all those lights on the end of it? And the fact that you can just get a plug-and-play 21-pin decoder from ESU and make that thing a fully functioning, cab car with all the features, lighting, and otherwise that you'd like to see in a train like this. And the best part about all this is that Atlas also released an accompanying locomotive in the MP36 that we spotlighted here recently as well. So great job, Atlas. And I think a lot of Metra fans will love to have this set with that locomotive I just mentioned on their layouts running commute service. Great job. I'll see you next time.